Okay.
Good.
Hi guys, we're the Tattoo Teachers.
In bed.
But it's not what you think. Come on now. Seriously, we're here to talk to you about
Any concerns, questions, would like to provide tips and hints about your role in education, whether you're a school administrator, classroom teacher, parent, or more importantly, a student.
So stay tuned.
See you in a minute. There we go. Summertime is here, and we wanted to take a few minutes and out of your busy schedule, give you a couple of tips on some things that you need to be doing over the summer. We know that your kids are all excited, and you're excited, and summertime and vacation and summer.
Woo-hoo!
Woo,
School's
right.
out for summer. Sorry.
Yeah, don't apologize to me. Apologize to those folks and to Alice Cooper.
Sorry, Alice.
I've heard Alice Cooper do that.
Didn't sound like that, did it?
That wasn't it at all. We can't get sued because it didn't say anything like the real thing.
There you go.
But anyhow,
Always looking out for us, Papa. Always looking out for us.
We wanted to give you a couple of tips, some things that we'd like for you to be considering. Just because school's out, school isn't really out. As you know by now, if you have children that have been in school for any length of time, you realize that the time between the last day and the first day, it seems like it's getting shorter and shorter.
That's right.
And the older your kids get, the shorter that time seems to get.
One thing you can do right now is rush up to your school, because even though your children aren't in school, there are people at the school right now,
Yep.
or maybe not right this minute, but at some point there's a skeleton crew with some scaled back hours probably, but there are people up there that will let you go through the box.
The dreaded box. The box, the bottomless box, the black pit.
That's right. The box is a box of leftover jackets, coats, sweaters, windbreakers, shoes,
Stinky
believe it or not.
Shoes. Holy crap.
Glasses, prescription glasses,
Yeah.
earrings. I can't tell you all the personal items that are in this box that's probably going to be donated soon to a worthy cause, which is great. But if you're missing something and your child came home and said, "Mama, my jacket was stolen," chances are it wasn't. Chances are it's in that box somewhere.
It's in that box somewhere.
So run up there and go through the box and see if you can find whatever your child told you was stolen and is missing now.
I can tell you with 100% assurance.
100% is pretty big.
100%
Papa.
is as good as it gets
Okay.
for me. Of situations where a child would come to my office and say, somebody stole my whatever, my book bag, my jacket, doesn't matter, stole it, and let's go and pull out that snake and put him in the electric chair right now, Mr. Cox, right now. Okay. Fortunately, our school district had funds and we had cameras placed throughout the building. So I would go down and I would search the database that had recorded everything during the time period that this alleged crime had taken place. And I would pour over those video files, and 9 times out of 10, I would watch that child place whatever the object was down on the floor beside their locker. Or I would track them coming through the hall with that object, and then I would bring them down to the little room where we kept all that equipment, and I would let them watch the video and say, "Is that you putting your jacket down?" "Yes, sir." "So, no one stole your jacket, right?" "No, sir." "Go get your frickin' jacket." and that was junior high. That was middle school. And that's primarily what I.
And look, we lose things too as adults.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not trying to crucify your kid. We lose things too. It's just typical. We have cool mornings here sometimes, and then hot afternoons.
Yep.
So your child gets hot and they take their jacket off somewhere, and then they
Yep.
don't remember where they took it off. So it happens. But if you're interested in going through that box, go check with your school and see if you can.
How many bathrooms have you left your cell phone in?
Oh my gosh, lots. It's in the plumbing in most of them. It's just down in there. I know.
We were in Arkansas one time riding our motorcycles, and she went to the bathroom,
This has
came
been
back,
recently,
and
like
began
a year
this
ago, maybe.
began this panic search looking for her phone. And we dialed the number, and some nice lady said, hello? And it was someone that was in the same restaurant with us had found it and was about to take it up to the cashier to drop it off. And thankfully, we got our phone back. I left mine on the bumper of a truck recently that I was selling my old truck, and left it on the bumper while I was pulling the old tag off, and lady drove away, and thankfully someone saw it and stopped her, and
And that lady's words were, "That man is blessed."
That man is blessed.
That man is blessed. The Lord blessed him because I drove all this way, and that phone stayed on that bumper. So thank goodness for that lady in Ruston, Louisiana.
You hear that a lot down here. But anyhow, here's the point is people put things down. They forget about they're busy, and your kids have a lot on their minds these days.
And look, I've seen secretary. I've been in this business 30 some odd years, or was till I retired. Mm-hmm. And I've heard our secretary get on the intercom, and these glasses were found. Come down to the office and identify your glasses, and
Yep.
nobody ever came. I mean, at the school that I retired from, I bet there's 10 pairs of glasses in that drawer right now, just waiting for somebody to come claim them. So. And it might not even be the students. It might be at a football game, a parent or somebody left them laying down, and one of the custodians picked it up and turned it into the office. So a lot of times things like that happen. Check with them. And we've spent way too much time on that box, haven't we?
Way too much time.
You can see that it really bothers us to have all that stuff left over at the end of the year.
Well, the reason it always...
It helps somebody because it's usually donated.
Yeah, the reason it bugged me is because another thing about summer is, as we get closer to August and school's starting back, schools will be providing, if they haven't already provided, a supply list of things that your children are going to need to start school again. And those stinking supplies are expensive.
Right.
And I begin to think about these parents who have several children all in school and how much money you guys have to put out. And I hear the complaints. I have parents who stop me, or did. I'm out now, but would stop me at school or at ball games or wherever. Chris, holy crap, dude! Y'all are asking for all these things, and we're having to spend all this money. And then I see the hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of clothes that are left in the school at the end of every year, and something isn't matching up. So take care of that. Ever so often the schools have these locker cleanouts. They typically do it at midterm, somewhere around Christmas or maybe right after Christmas, and then again beginning of May, mid-May, something like that. Your kid's coming home saying so-and-so, or some situation, my jacket was stolen. I'm not saying it can't happen, because clearly it does happen occasionally. 9 times out of 10, though, that jacket was left on the floor and some custodian picked it up and put it up.
So 9 times out of 10 is 90%, just to keep us clear, not 100. But anyway,
I was
let's
an English
move on.
teacher. I wasn't a math teacher like you.
Let's move on to
records and changing schools.
well, what I was going to say is let's move on to supply list. He just talked about supply list, so
Yeah,
let's talk about that
that's-
real quick. There is a skeleton crew at your school. And it just depends on when the teachers get together and make up the supply list, but check with your school and ask when the supply list is going to be out. A lot of times at our local Walmarts, there's every school has a little folder with the supply list in it as soon as they can
Office
get their
Depot
hands
has
on
them
it.
too.
I'm not trying to plug anybody, but at these big places,
We're not being sponsored.
No.
Not yet.
But check with your school. When will your supply list be out? And get on that if you want to. If not, wait till August. But it's all picked over by then. But that's part of the fun, maybe. Who knows?
Well, there's nothing fun about it, but hopefully.
I thought it was fun. My daughter and I had fun shopping for supplies until we had to pay the bill.
I thought it was chaotic, and I'd rather have my gums scraped. But yeah, that list should be out now. Your administrator of your school, the wise and efficient person that they are, I'm sure got the teachers together by grade level and said, put together a list that we can have in the office so we can email it, do whatever it is to get it out to these parents. So that list should already be available. If you don't like the chaos, go ahead and get that list now. Go on and get that crap, because it's not going to get cheaper.
That's probably true.
Go on and get that stuff. Put it in the bags. Stick it in your little extra bedroom or somewhere until you need it. And that thing is done. You there's no Black Friday, for Christmas shopping is fine, but not when it's hot and school supplies. But anyhow, take care of that.
Okay, another reason you might want to contact the school is to find out if they're going to have an orientation night. And I'm mainly talking to parents whose children are moving from an elementary school to a middle school.
Elementary. It can be elementary for some of them.
I didn't mean that.
Yeah, I've seen
Or a
a
middle
few.
school to a high school. If they're changing buildings, then more than likely that school does an orientation for parents or students, and just check to see when that's going to be and if you can attend and what kinds of information will be given out. And it'd be a good idea to make plans to attend that, just so you'll set the tone for the year. Another thing for parents is I would like just to talk to you a little bit about your anxiety level. If your child is moving from elementary school to middle school, I know. I had a child and I was anxious, and I didn't think my mama. I didn't think my mama got upset about things like that, but I'm sure she just hid it better than I did. And as you'll learn as you listen to our little tattooed teacher videos, is that we've had lots of parent successes, but we've also had parent fails too. We've had lots of professional successes.
Oh,
But as Pyro just told you, we've had professional fails
more than a
too.
few.
So in education, we're human. We had pluses and minuses, and we want to share our fails and our professional pluses and our positive things with you also. But what we would like to say is, or what I'd like to say you is, to just keep your anxiety about your child moving to a new school building, express it to your friends, express it to your mom, express it to the people you're close to, your husband, your wife, but try to keep that from your child. Only say positive things to your child about moving to that new building, about what a great school year they're going to have, and what an adventure it's going to be, and how fun and how grown up they're going to feel. And they feed off of your anxiety. If you're anxious, that child's going to be anxious.
Yeah.
They may mask it, but they will be anxious if you are. So just try to put on a brave front for them. Go outside and cry all you want. I can't tell you the number of new students I've enrolled, and their parent has said, I'm about to go outside and cry now. Is that okay? And I've said, that is perfectly fine, girl. You get to your car and you call me later on, and I'll tell you how good your child's doing, and they're going to be fine.
Well, just for gender equality here, it wasn't always just girl. I can think of one dad in particular that came for the first day, and one of the biggest transitions we had in with parents, the elementary school that fed my middle school, a lot of times the parents would escort their children to class and maybe follow them around a little bit. Well, we didn't do that in middle school. That was a point where we wanted to begin to develop a certain level of independence, and so we would. We weren't going to say, no, you cannot do it, but we would discourage it as best we could. And this dad just did not want to let go. His little girl was there in 6th grade, and that dude went right out in the parking lot, got in his car, and he just boo-hooed. And I understood that.
I did too, because I remember a dad who walked his little girl to first grade, and the teacher said, "You know, you don't have to walk her into the class every day."
Who was that?
And he said, "Oh,
What
yes, I am."
what a wimp. What kind of, oh, that guy. Those dads. That's what's wrong with this country. Dads like that. But yeah,
No,
I did
that's
that.
great.
I did that, and I had the time to do it, and a lot of times there wouldn't be a duty teacher there, and it bugged me, and so yeah, I did that, and I'm not going to apologize for it. So anyhow, that's
You're your
that.
child's best
you're your
advocate.
You're your child's sometimes your child's only advocate.
That's right.
And one of the things that we'll cover as time goes on with these, if you continue to watch them, is times where you need to jump in, times where you need to be that voice, and the times where you need to kind of take a step back and let the process work out.
And that's kind of the part of middle school. At the beginning, back off a little. Let the child discover middle school. I mean, I'm not saying don't be involved. Be involved. But, you know, let the child discover what that first day of school is like. Tell them how great it's going to be. You know, if you think it's going to be great, they believe it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So just get that mindset, you know, that this is going to be a brand new adventure and, you know, a whole new beginning for them.
One of the things that we'll cover a lot, and it'll be in most cases an underlying theme, but it'll be perceptible to you, is that oftentimes we as adults tend to want to take our kids and give them the same level of cognitive processing that we have. And what I mean by that is we want to instill adult abilities into our children. I can't tell you the number of times as a classroom teacher that I've done it and I regret it.
Right.
But I've had
Me
time
too,
to
though.
kind of sit back, we both have,
Right.
to sit back and think about situations and reason those things out. Where the kids are put into a position to where we want to demand that they respond the way an adult would. Well, they can't. They don't. The little neurons and things, little dendrites, haven't grown to allow them to process information and to respond like an adult would. And you don't have to watch much news to realize there are some adults who still don't respond. How many times have you sat on the couch watching some reality show, some whatever the situation is, and think, why would you do that? Why would you say that? Why would you respond this way? You know what? I've talked to 1,000 kids in my career, and situations where I've asked them why, and the answer I get most of the time is, I don't know. And you know what? They don't know. They don't know why they respond the way they do. So let's don't grow our kids up too quickly. Okay, the world's harsh enough. They'll have their chance to deal with the darkness just like we all have. So let's let them enjoy this time. Let's be there for them, but let's also teach them the independence that they're going to need when at some point we're not always going to be here.
They'll hear enough horror stories from the older brothers and sisters and the older kids. So leave that to them. You be positive.
Yeah, and not everyone's experience is the same.
That's right.
And that's another thing that we both had to deal with were parents who had a poor experience when they were children, and they want to equate that with the experience their child is going to have. Well, I can tell you it doesn't work that way. The same way all of your children, if you have more than one child, they're not the same. I taught a lot of brothers and sisters, and I thankfully did not fall into that trap that a lot of teachers do of getting that one child who maybe didn't have the same work ethic as their brother or sister and say, why can't you be more like your brother? Why can't you be more? I didn't do that, thankfully.
I didn't do that. I just called them by their brother or sister's name. Sorry.
That happens too. But the experience is different for everybody because we're different from everybody. So let's try to keep our experiences out of it as much as possible, and let these kids grow and learn and appreciate it for themselves. So this is the kind of thing you can expect to hear. We hope you get something out of it. We're going to keep doing this because we're retired and we got the time to do it.
That's right.
And so we hope
That's
you take
teachers in bed.
we hope you take the time to watch.
we need to talk about something else. I hope you're not ending.
I was going to end.
Okay, well, we need to talk about records.
Hungry.
I know, I'm hungry too.
Oh, records. Gosh, yeah, we got to get on records.
Really quickly,
Sorry, we got to get this.
We'll try to be quick. If your child's moving to an entirely different school district, our little boy Jack, be still.
He's a little dog. He's not actually a little boy.
No.
And once you think we got some kid on the phone, be still. Tiny little dog.
Okay. If your child's moving from one school to an entirely different district, now not within the same district, but an entirely different district, then you need to run up to your old school if you can't find and your last report card, birth certificate, shot record, possibly social security card. Call the new school and find out what you need, but you need those things for your child to enroll. Yep. Because your count, especially if they're going into high school, but any grade level, because you need to prove to the new school what grade they're in, number one, because that school, if you don't have the proof, they're just going to guess and put them in the grade that they think they're in, and then when those records come in, if it's not right, or the classes or whatever. So just make sure that you have your child's last report card. If they're in high school, a transcript, birth certificate, shot record, possibly social security card. Make sure you have those things. The former school, you have a right to a copy of anything that former school has. Yep. You cannot take the whole cum folder. That belongs to the school. But you can have copies of those things that are in the cumulative folder, and those things that I just named are the things that you probably need to get you to the new school and get enrolled. Once you're enrolled in the new school, then that school will request records from the former school, and the official cumulative folder or the official copies of those things will be sent to the new school. So you don't have to worry about that part. If you already have your child's last report card, birth certificate, shot record, those things, you don't even have to go to the school to get it. You just need those things with you when you pack. And I know that you pack things in boxes and then you don't unpack all the way and you can't find them. But put those things in a special place where you can get your hands on them. Go ahead and enroll your child as soon as you can. Call that school and say, when can I come up to enroll my child? So that you can, the person you might need to meet with may not be there at that time during the summer, but you could at least go get those things up there, get copies of them made, get your enrollment papers filled out, and get the process started for your child to have a schedule on the first day of school.
And ask when you call the school to see what their operating hours are during the summer. See if any of this required material forms are online.
Good idea.
That you could print and have done ahead of time.
Or they may can mail them if they're not online.
Yeah,
so
they can mail them. If you haven't actually physically moved yet, you could go ahead and it'll save a lot of time.
Right.
To get that done, because they need to verify that you actually are going to be living in their school zone.
Right.
And that deals with funding from the state, and so that's the reason for that.
Or that's our experience in Louisiana.
If it's a public school,
it could be different in other states, but that's been our experience.
But be sure that before you sign the papers that the school you think your child's going to is actually in that zone. There are some unscrupulous realtors out there who will tell you that yes, this is a great school district, and they moved in and discovered that they weren't actually living in the zone for the school, the great school that they wanted their kids to attend. Verify that. Call the school. Say, I'm thinking about moving to this address. Is that for sure in your school zone? Just trust me on this. You want to know. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. We appreciate it. Please take an opportunity to give us a thumbs up. And if you liked the video, if you didn't like the video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up anyhow, because we don't really care. YouTube just wants, they got the little algorithm in there. And please subscribe. We plan on doing a lot of these and covering a lot of different subjects that we think that will help you. We'll be addressing issues for parents, teachers, administrators, and students. And
just remember, communication is key. Communication
absolutely.
With your child, communication with the school. Communication is key.
As long as you're talking, things are good. As long as you're communicating, things can be resolved. So, and we want you to. We want to talk to you, and we want you to talk to us. So if you have any questions, anything that you think that we need to be addressing, please put it in the comments, and we will address every one of them just as quickly as we can. Thank you for your time. Hope you guys having a great day. See you next time.
Bye.